Feta cheese is so delicious. It happens to be one of my favorites. It's acidic, it's salty, it's creamy, and in this recipe, it's gonna do double duty. We are going to use the brine to marinate some chicken. It's gonna give it a lot of tangy flavor, and we are gonna whip the cheese with a little lemon juice and olive oil into a perfect sandwich spread. Let's talk about this feta for just a second before we marinate that chicken. So you can buy feta cheese in a variety of ways. Oftentimes you find it and it doesn't have brine at all, but if you can find it in the brine, I recommend buying it. Not only does it last longer in the brine, but the cheese is also much silkier and creamier. Plus, you get to make recipes like this where you get to use the brine as an ingredient. So this is a half a pound of feta in the brine, and we're gonna go ahead and take the feta out, just transfer it to a plate here, which we are going to whip into a beautiful spread. But for this recipe, we need about 3/4 of a cup of the feta brine. This is a pint container and it's about half full. So I probably have either 3/4 or 1 cup, and I'm gonna go ahead and just stick with that. And we're gonna actually save a dish and we're gonna mix our marinade right in this little container. It's a 2-ingredient marinade. All you need is that feta brine, which has a really, really salty and acidic flavor. And to that, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of Louisiana style hot sauce. Just gonna go ahead and take a little fork and just give it a mix. We're gonna marinate the chicken in a resealable plastic bag. And that's just because we don't have tons of brine and we wanna make sure that the chicken breasts are submerged. And we are using 4 4-ounce chicken cutlets, right? Let's pour the brine right on top. Seal the bag. You wanna press out kind of as much air as you can. Perfect, and we are gonna pop this in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. While our chicken is marinating, we are gonna make the whipped feta, which is gonna be the most incredible sandwich spread. So we are gonna add all of that feta cheese. We're just gonna go ahead and crumble it, just so that we give our food processor a head start. Oh my gosh, you can see how creamy that cheese is. In addition to our feta cheese, we want some lemon juice. Got 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. It's gonna be lemony, it's gonna be a little salty. Let's give it a whirl. I like to pulse it at first, and you'll notice that a lot of the feta cheese is gonna adhere to the side of the bowl. That's okay, because what we're gonna do now is we are gonna drizzle in about a 1/3 cup of olive oil. Now, you don't wanna over-process this. It doesn't have anything to do with the cheese, but you can over-process olive oil and make it a little bitter tasting. So just blend it until it's well combined and the cheese is smooth. And if you need to, just pop off the top and scrape down the side of the bowl. This is looking pretty good, actually. So smooth, I need to show you. Give it a little taste. It's nice and lemony, but it does need just a little bit of salt and pepper. Give it one more whirl. One more little taste. That's good. Let's transfer it to a little bowl here. Just when you thought it was empty, look at that. Cleared the blade. That's a mad genius tip. We don't waste any of that delicious feta. You get a lid on you, and we've got our chicken marinating. We've got our sandwich spread ready to go. I'll meet you back here when we make those sandwiches. After the chicken brined for about 30 minutes, I remove the chicken and I pat it dry, and it's time to grill it. I've got a grill pan here that's nice and preheated. You can also do this outside on the grill. Before we get the chicken on the grill, we want to hit it with a little olive oil, a little salt, and go a little light on the salt because that brine is pretty salty. And some freshly ground black pepper. And we want to make sure we get this on both sides, so we'll give it a flip. I know raw chicken is not very beautiful, but I do want you to see that there's a slight color difference here after the chicken is brined. That's because the feta brine is very acidic. So we'll hit this side with a little olive oil, and again, just a little more salt and a little bit of pepper. Let's get these onto the grill. We're gonna cook this just a few minutes on each side, and that's the perfect amount of time to prep our topping. So we've got some red onion, we just need some thin slices of, and some cucumber. So I like to cut the cucumber on an extreme bias, and that's just because these beautiful long flat slices are gonna lay so much easier on a sandwich. So we've got some red onion, we've got some cucumber. We're also gonna top our sandwiches with some arugula, and then we've got some piquillo peppers from a jar. Let's take a peek. Ooh, there we go. Pretty little chicken. All right, our chicken is almost done. So we're gonna go ahead and get our rolls ready to go. And that also gives me somewhere to land our chicken so that it can rest a couple minutes. Just gonna go ahead and tent it with a little foil. Let's build some sandwiches. All right, we've got 4 ciabatta rolls. These are about 6 inches in length. First up, got that beautiful whipped feta dip. Looks so great. This is such a good stand-in for mayonnaise in a sandwich. And actually, I'm gonna wanna put a little on the tops and the bottoms of this sandwich. Next up, I'm gonna top it with our chicken. I'm gonna go boop, 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 boop. All right, so next up, we've got some arugula, and of course that red onion. Let's pile it up on here. All right, we've got our cucumber on here. See? Big long cucumber, big long sandwich. Next up, we broke out a jar of piquillo peppers. I love them so much. They're sweet and really tender. Maybe 2 piquillo peppers per sandwich. We just need to put the tops on. I'm gonna cut it in half. All right, should I taste it? It is so good. That ciabatta bread is perfect for this sandwich because it's nice and chewy. The vegetables are crunchy. We've got those sweet piquillo peppers in there. And that whipped feta is like the perfect stand-in for mayonnaise in a sandwich, I've got to say. But it is that chicken that really takes this to the next level. It is juicy and it's like subtly tangy. It is so perfect. Using that feta to brine that chicken was mad genius. And with that, all I will say is you better get your feta.